Well, Coach, what do you hope to get out of the tour?
Oh, practice. We had our first practice today. We've been doing things an hour, but they had nothing to look forward to in terms of games and that kind of thing. So today we started kind of getting ready. We're going to play 3 games over there, but I think it's a great opportunity for them to bond. We got a lot of new guys, and the more time they spend together, I think the better that's going to be for us.
How's that bonding going so far? I know they haven't had a whole lot of time, but are you starting to see it?
Well, it's great. I think Oscar was the last one in, and they've taken him under their wing, and they're good. I mean, you really can't tell the difference between the old guys and the new guys. Of course, the old guys aren't that old, but except for Jermaine. But yeah, I mean they get along great. They hang together. It's a lot like the really good teams that we had in the past.
Did you have to do anything to try to spark that, especially in light of some of the issues you went through last year, or did it kind of happen?
Well, I think a lot of it's personalities. Jordan and Emmett, I think, have been great. I mean, those guys that do a great job of trying to include everybody in, virtually everything that they do. They embraced some of the things that that we've always done. The Children's Hospital thing. We've played paintball. We've shot skeet. We've played softball. We've done all that, and they embrace that. Where I'm not so sure that's been the case the last few years.
You went bowling the other day too, didn't you?
I didn't. No. Justin, I'd drop it on my foot. And
Any good bowlers on the team?
I didn't go. I don't know.
Did he get the
I didn't get a recap. No. It's kind of like you guys work depending on mess. It's kind of sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Coach, is everybody who's going to be on the roster this season going to be able to go on the form?
No. No. We'll have at least 1, maybe 2, finishing up things.
That's Richardson and Sherman.
Yeah, that's 2. Yeah, we may have 1 more. Just see how it goes.
When you finally gather everybody and get serious about this, how do you start a new year after last year? I mean, you haven't done that very often, but you did have to do it a few years ago.
Well, Bob, I think the biggest thing is you don't have to coach enthusiasm with these guys. I think a year ago it was like you're trying to coach effort and you're trying to coach basketball, and it's hard to do both. And these guys, their effort's been terrific. Their attitude's been great. They spend a lot of time in this building. We've only been allowed to work out by rule an hour, and those guys are in here way more than an hour on their own, and that wasn't the case before.
With the scholarship situation, can you put Logan back on scholarship?
He's on scholarship. He's been on scholarship.
He has been, okay.
Yeah.
Starting the summer?
Yeah, beginning of summer. He's already a couple classes into his master's degree. Yeah. Maybe more than that.
I'm sorry. What have you seen from McNeil and Oscar?
Well, Sean can make shots, and Oscar plays so hard. He doesn't know what he's doing yet, because this is only his 2nd or 3rd day. But he plays so hard, runs so hard. He's so long. I mean, he gets the balls that other people can't get to, and it's been good for him. You know, it's been good for him to play against Derek every day and really play against Logan every day. You don't get that in high school, but he's been really good. He can rebound that ball and really runs, really runs.
Have you seen over the summer steps forward by Derek?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what to say here. Derek just has a timeliness issue, which he hasn't had this summer at all. I mean, he did one time he did, and you know, you gotta make sure he understands that you can't do that. You can't. Derek hopefully has a long career when he's out of here, which, you know, we all hope he does. But he's got to take care of this. You know, it's not bad stuff. It's not, you know, when you think about guys doing bad things, he doesn't do bad things. He just every once in a while he just doesn't show up on time. Even though, I mean, it's never bad. It's never like he misses half of something or misses something. And it's never that. But we're trying to get him to the point where if and when he becomes a professional, he can act like a professional.
You don't think of starting a half hour earlier than they do, or hour.
I've done that before, but I would just as soon try to get Derek to do the timeliness thing without tricking him.
Hey, Bob, just to shore up something on Logan, I don't know how you do it, but sometimes football can give guys summer scholarships and maybe they come off in the fall, or is Logan like full-time?
No, he's full-time. Yeah. Mike, he deserves it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've had him on scholarship before, and he had the other scholarship, you know, where he got everything, tuition, everything paid for. So he's never been without aid, but this is a lot more comprehensive aid, the athletic scholarship, than the other. But he's been great. I mean, you talk about a guy who, I mean, he's like, Coach, if you need a scholarship, that's fine. You know, he's never felt neglected or left out or pouted or anything. He's been great.
Is your plan to press when you go overseas?
Well, we haven't done it yet, Tony. It's going to take a while. We can't guard in a quarter court right now with all these new guys. But that's where we want to get to. I'm not sure we get to do it in Spain, but we will get to do it. Yeah.
For the guys that were here previously, how much restructuring is there? I mean, you're going to be a different kind of team, I hope.
I think we're going to. It looks like to me now, Bob, that we're going to be more. I don't want to say guard oriented because we're going to throw it. We're going to throw it to Derek and Logan and Oscar, but we can play three perimeter guys, and we can get away with playing three perimeter guys because we've got small guard. We got a couple of small guards, but then we've also got some big guards. Jermaine being 6'6", and Sean's 6'3", or he says 6'4". He's not. I'm 6'4". He's 6'3". But we have bigger, and he's a stronger, you know, guard. We'll be able to play three guards, I think, a lot more than we've played three guards in a long time.
Does that mean you try to get Oscar and Derek together?
Oh, they're going to play together, yeah.
How does that work? Because they seem like they are similar in some senses, but also they're different enough they can't work.
Well, we've run some triangle things. I mean, we've run a lot of triangle stuff in the past, and those guys once they learn what they're doing, should be pretty good in triangle.
With Taz and Ethan, will there be a cram session for them when they do? Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming this will be a lot they're going to be missing out on.
Well, it's going to be, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a big-time cram session for them. You know, I think the thing about Taz is so athletic that, you know, he's like you watch Oscar out there now. He doesn't know what he's doing, but because of his athleticism, he still makes plays. And I think, without a question, Taz will be able to do that. I mean, he's really a good athlete.
Bob, you mentioned that Emmett and Jordan had kind of embraced a lot of the things you guys like to do off the court. How are they coming along on the court? I know they had their moments as freshmen, but it seems like they're going to be guys that you're probably going to have to depend on a lot this year.
Well, Jordan played with a torn MCL last year, and had the surgery, and so he's, you know, we've been fighting with him about don't do so much. You know, most guys you're fighting with to, you know, do something, and he understands. He's been pretty good. I think Emmett is, at least to this point, is the most improved guy that we've had in a long time. I mean, he's playing extremely well. I think he's grown a little bit. He's added some weight, but his skill level's really improved. And it means he's obviously put a lot of time in.
Almost every time the subject of leadership comes up, Jordan name gets mentioned. Have you had a sophomore that has been to that level that might be one of the top leaders on the team previously in your career?
I'm sure I have. I'd have to think about it, but I'm sure I have.
The postseason recruiting, I know it's not new, but it just seems like it's really competitive now, trying to add one or two guys after the season with transfers and postgraduates and guys who don't commit early on. I guess, am I onto something there? I don't know. But what is that atmosphere like when there's not a lot of people, but there's a lot of schools looking for guys?
Well, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. I think what's lost in all this stuff is, you know, we the NCAA, the NCAA body has been so concerned with individual rights that they forgot there's other guys involved as well. And, you know, you have guys for 3 years, say, particularly at a mid-major level, and the guys, you work with them and they become pretty good, and then all of a sudden you don't have them anymore. That's not fair to the guys that are left. You know, I guess I'm different, but I was always brought up, you know, that your freedom ends where you start infringing on somebody else's. And you know, I think that makes it hard. And I think, you know, really basically, if you look at our guys that left, they've all gone down. They haven't gone up. They've gone down a level, except for Beetle maybe going to Alabama. But then, you know, you don't know how much they're going to play. Going down, maybe from a playing time standpoint, maybe is a good thing. Mike, it just seems to me that those guys come in with a different attitude about they're going to get more shots, or they're going to get more notoriety, or they're going to get, you know, and it's I think it's really hard to. And the guys have done it. They're obviously a lot smarter than me, or way less stubborn than I am, but I just think it's hard.
In a situation like yours, you're trying to get to 13. There's a balance of quantity and quality. You don't want to add just guys. Are evaluations tricky?
I don't know that we absolutely have to have 13, Mike. I mean, we have had, but if you think about it, our 13th guy in a lot of ways. It was like Lamont. We took Lamont really late, and it was for Lamont to continue to grow, and he's a guy who grew physically and as a basketball player. We've taken numerous freshmen. I mean, you think about it. When we took JC and Dax, I think we still had Wani and we had Gary and we had Tariq and we had Jayshawn. So obviously we didn't bring those two into play. I mean, as it turned out, they ended up playing. But we brought those guys in because we were getting ready to lose two really good players in Wani and Gary.
Jordan had surgery in, what, April or?
April.
He's still feeling,
I mean, it's going to swell up for a period of time a little bit. I mean, it's not like it blows up, but he's got a little swelling in it. That's going to happen. That's going to happen until the knee gets used to it. But
Will he be full go in the tour?
if he's full go now, really. I mean, we held him out of a little bit of stuff today because I didn't want, and Doc didn't think it was a good idea for him to go a solid 3 hours. After having more than an hour before, but who knows? I mean, he may have been out here 4 hours, at midnight. Who knows? He's in here a lot.
That obviously wasn't a full ACL tear then.
No, but most of them aren't, Bob.
Partial repair.
Yeah, but that's generally the case. I mean, it's very rare that you lose your entire meniscus. They clip it. And I guess anytime you take a body part out or part of a body part, it affects your body. But it's not like an ACL where they have to go in and rebuild it or anything.
When you say you're going to play Oscar and Derek together, what do you envision out of that? How do you envision that?
A lot of rebounds.
Yeah.
A lot of rebounds. I think we can go back to dominating the glass like we did at one time. I don't know. I think that probably the last time that we were able to play two bigs together like that was Kenyon and Jermaine Tate. I mean, they were both 6'9", and that worked out really well for us.
Your early reviews of the three-point line.
I don't think it makes that much difference, Mike. We're going to play in the Garden, go in early and watch guys warm up. Every single one of them shoot behind the NBA line. The furthest line's the one they're going to gravitate to and shoot behind. So I don't think it's that big a deal. And it's not that far.
You think that opens the floor up?
No.
No, because that's kind of what they're anticipating.
You think 6 inches opens up the floor?
Spread it out. That's an extra step.
Do you think a foot? I don't. I mean, you think a foot opens up the floor that much? I don't think so. And you can't open it up any further really in the corner. How are you going to open it up more in the corner? Guys are standing out. How you see more guys called out of bounds, standing out of bounds, trying to shoot threes in the corner than you used to never. I don't ever remember playing here for 3 years and having one of our guys step out of bounds. And we had some clumsy guys, man. And I don't remember anybody standing out of bounds. But that's what the line has done. That to me is what happens when you need a floor sanded.
Bob, I saw you pose for a picture with the guys that are playing in the basketball tournament. How do you like that team they put together? What do you think their chances are?
I really like it because they basically have a point guard and then 4 guys who can play multiple positions. It's very similar. I just said, and I just did a deal for John Flowers. I think it's very similar to a Final Four team. We didn't have a big. Wellington Smith was our big at 6'6". Ebanks was 6'8", I guess, but then, I mean, they were all interchangeable. You could switch everything because they could all guard. We just had, Truck and Missoula alternating at point guard. Those were the only two that you worried about a switch happening. Joe Alexander, I was down there 2 days ago. Joe's down there talking about how to guard ball screens, all the calls they're going to make and all that stuff. So it's fun watching them. It's fun having them around. I mean, a lot of them come around anyway, but one of them said, "Man, Coach, I should have came back here every summer, because they have their own locker room, training room. They've got a guy who's worked for 2 NBA teams that knows what he's doing in the weight room. I mean, it's perfect for them, and they got a hot tub, a cold tub. We're gonna put a sauna in for them, not just for them, for our other guys too. But they got everything that they need. They can come here and rehab. They can come here and lift. They can come here and be in the gym and work out. I mean, and it's great for our guys to go in and see them working. We had former guys in here 7 o'clock this morning, and then stayed around for probably 2.5 hours of our practice. So.
Coach, the fact all these guys are coming back, do you think that says anything about your program, whether that's the guys you bring in or the culture?
Says a lot about my effervescent personality, which is taking a beating here, and it just shows really how much I'm loved. Make sure you print that way, Bob.
Don't come back, read it.
No, they love being here. They're treated really well here. I mean, this is the best practice facility in the country. There isn't any better. There isn't any better anywhere. The pro team has a better one. Why wouldn't they? And they love Morgantown. They love Morgantown. They love the people. The people love them. They're getting ready to play 2 exhibition games, and one in Eastern Panhandle and one in Beckley. And I mean, it's going to be a hell of a crowd. Why? What's not to like?
How beneficial is it for the young guys to see them come in, sit down, be working out in their off season?
Well, this is a different group. I mean, these guys work out. They don't need a lot of encouragement or a lot of help. They love being in the gym. But that's similar to these guys that are back. I mean, when you stop and think about guys that spend an enormous amount of time in the gym, and really, when like Deshaun was here and Joe was here, and you've read the stories, I'm sure, about Joe having the blow up mattress so that he could sleep in the locker room, so he could get out on the Coliseum, because at that time we had phys ed going on in the Coliseum. We had women's volleyball, we had women's basketball, men's basketball, and had all kind of things going on in the Coliseum. So, Joe slept when a lot of people were out partying, doing whatever, and then he got up whenever the place was. He had the place to himself. They don't have to do that here now. They come in here anytime they want and play and practice. And there were 3 of them, I think, in here this morning at 7 o'clock. Jay Shine Page just came in. Devin Williams just came in. KJ just came in. I'm sure wherever KJ his truck is, he's somewhere around somewhere here. And it's great.
KJ's new hairdo.
He had it since he came back. It's Japanese.
Can you envision Missoula someday NBA head coach?
See, I don't know Joe now the way I knew Joe then. You talking about Joe then or Joe now?
I'm talking now.
It's a big difference. That'd be great. I mean, that'd be great for Joe. It'd be great for West Virginia University to have a guy.
last year, or a couple of years ago, you had kind of talked about the idea of coaches having the ability to like challenge calls or plays, or they're now kind of bringing that up in the NBA. I think they might do it where they give coaches I don't know if they'll give them a flag or not, but the idea of challenging a play or challenging a call seems like that might become a realistic in this sport.
Well, if they get it right, do they pick the flag up and not charge them?
I don't know. I haven't seen all the details on it yet.
I could tell you this: there's at least a place in our league where if you could challenge it and they went to the monitor, the game would never end. Don't you agree, TC? Yeah, it'd never end. I mean, I'd be right all the time.
Seems like basketball is such a momentum sport, though, that, I mean, you don't really want to be stopping it very much unless the momentum's going against you.
We need to take you on a trip to a place that I bet after you sit there and like watched it, in person, you'd think we need a flag. Trust me.
I think you need better
You do it, though.
referees.
You don't have time between plays like you do football. You got the play clock, and it falls out of the hoop, and you're going the other way.
I don't know. You I don't think you can do it, but I mean, I could show you play after play after play that happens at particular places that there's no explanation as to why it wasn't called or how it got called. There's absolutely no explanation. And I've had officials in here and shown it to them, and they're like, "Turn it off. You got screwed. Turn it off."
Coach, what are the teams like that you're going to be playing in Spain? Is there much scouting going into it?
Yeah, we're trying to send Ronnie over there. Kind of send Ronnie over there early to get us got. No, we just go play. They're I think by and large it's their top level teams, which is very good in Spain. Probably minus the Americans. I doubt that there's many Americans over there now.
Does winning or losing mean much at this point?
Well, you always want to win. These guys are going to want to win. I mean,
There are other factors, though, right? I mean,
probably three of them. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Spain?
Have I ever been to Spain? Yes, ma'am, I have.
Where'd you like? Who'd you like?
I took a college all-star team for Billy Packer, and we played in Malaga and Madrid. I think maybe Barcelona. They're good. I mean, they're really good teams. We won a few and lost a few.
do you like Spain?
I like Spain a lot. Yeah, Spain's a great place, and there's so much history there.
I assume you have some time built in to enjoy the cultural stuff. It's not just all basketball, right?
We're only going to play 3 games, but we are going to practice. We're not going to practice every day, but we're going to practice most days. But in the morning, practice in the morning, and then turn them loose. They're scheduled to go on some sightseeing things. Some of them I canceled because they really don't want to do it, and I don't want to make them do it. I'm past the point of fighting with them in the.
Bullfight?
We got a couple managers we want to have run with the Bulls.
Well, last year's players.
Yeah. That's a big step up too, because in years past it could have been some players that we wanted to run with the Bulls.